Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Review. Hi, my name is Candace. Welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Review. I really appreciate I'm joking. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm back. I almost just died. You guys don't know, but I recently had COVID. Had COVID. So I'm still kind of congested. And so when I just had my laughing fit, I almost died. So I had to cut so I could hack my brains out. Almost lost a lung, but I did it all for you. So you're welcome. Okay, so in today's video, gotta get my breath back. In today's video, we are going to be diving back into our Brutal Birthright Series by Sophie Lark. We are going to be reviewing book 4 in her Brutal Birthright series, and it is called Bloody Heart. I really wanted to have the physical book so that I could make Amazon eat shit with the page number comparison, but unfortunately I don't have it because the lovely Sophie Lark is sending me signed copies of the entire series, but they have not come yet. So I did not want to wait any longer to film this review because I knew that the plot would leak from my ears. And I would not remember anything, so I had to film, or else it would all be gone. So, unfortunately, we just have to take Amazon's word for it that there are 464 pages in this book. That doesn't sound right, but okay. This book and all of the books in this series are free to read with KU. If you don't know what Kindle Unlimited is, it is a monthly subscription service that you can get through Amazon if you have a Kindle device, where you can check out books that are in their Kindle library. You can check out up to 10 books at a time, and you can read for free. And then when you're done, you just return it to Kindle Unlimited, and you can check out a new one. I think it's like $9.99 a month. The end. If you would like to purchase this book for your Kindle device, you can do so for the price of $4.99. If you would like to purchase the trade paperback, which is a large size paperback novel, you can do so for the price of $14.99, which seems to be the going rate for all of the trade paperbacks in this series, which is a pretty fucking good bargain for these books because they are fucking stellar. So do it, okay? I'll read you guys the blurb, and then we'll break it down because this book ripped my fucking soul out. Which is fitting because the first line of this blurb says, "She cut my heart open." Yeah, well, she did. Sophie, you did. She cut my heart open. I only meant to steal a car. I didn't know I was stealing a girl, too, until the most gorgeous face I'd ever seen popped up in the rearview mirror. I fell hard. Fast and forever. But she tore out my heart, left me alone and bleeding. How can I forget her when I have to see that damn perfect face on billboards and magazines? It's torture. 9 long years. I thought I moved on. Then I saw her in the flesh, and my heart started bleeding all over again. ... Okay. The 2 main characters for this book are Dante and Simone. Dante Gallo is the main male character. Simone, I forget her last name. What the fuck is her last name? Simone, I keep wanting to say de Beauvoir, but I think that's from another character from something else. The fuck is her last name? I can't remember anyway. It's not important to the plot. Fuck it. So, Dante is the eldest son of the reigning Italian mafia boss of Chicago. In the beginning of this book, he is 21. Simone is 18. Simone is the youngest daughter of a Gaian diplomat. Her father is, I think he owns like a chain of hotels, and he is a diplomat for like human trafficking, charity causes and things like that. They're in town for like a charity function or like a diplomatic function. Her older sister has cystic fibrosis, and so she's been like sickly her whole life. Simone is like the typical dutiful daughter. She's yes, father, very innocent, she's a virgin, very bow down to whatever daddy wants. She secretly wants to be a fashion designer. Her father wants her to go to whatever school he went to. I forget, but it's like he grew up very like dirt poor in a very bit like war-ridden country. He managed to get out. His elder sisters were like human trafficked, and that's why he fights so hard for like his causes and whatever. But she wants to be a fashion designer. She has some type of like sensory thing. She sees colors more vividly than normal people, and like she hears things more, like she has sharper senses than a normal person does, and I don't know what that's called. It's like something in her brain is off, heightened. But she's going to some function with her parents. She has secretly applied to Parsons Design School in New York. Her father finds out and gets really pissed off about it. He tells her she's not going. They're on their way to this this charity function or whatever at this hotel. They're in a limo. They pull up. Her dad says, "You're not going." They're having this conversation in the limo. Her dad says, "You're not going." She gets really upset. Her parents get out. She says, "Can you give me a minute?" They say, "Okay." She's in the limo by herself. She asks the driver, "Can you give me a minute?" He steps out. He walks off. She's in the limo. She's crying to herself. Dante is inside the hotel doing a shady deal for his father, with some like a gangster inside. He's doing some arms deal on behalf of his dad. Dante is 21 at the time. The gangster makes some sideways comment about his recently deceased mother, and Dante like stabs him in the neck and kills him, and has to make a quick getaway. So he jumps out the window onto the awning and into a conveniently waiting empty limousine at the curb. He starts to drive off and realizes the limo is not empty. There's a girl in the back. So by this time, he's already pulled away, and he can't pull over. He's trying to get away from people who are chasing him and the cops and whatever. So he's driving, and there's a crying girl in a very poofy, beautiful ball gown in the back. And she's been clearly crying. And she's the most beautiful girl he's ever seen. And he's like instantly in love. It's Dante. Okay, I have a thing about possessive alphas who fall in love first. I don't know what it is, but like typical romance novels, the girl falls first, right? But there's just something about novels where the guy realizes that he's in love first, and it just makes it so much better for me. And this is one of those books where he falls first and realizes it first. And the love that he feels for her is immediate and like powerful. And that's what happens. He sees her immediately in love. The most beautiful girl he's ever seen in his life. And he pursues her. So he sees her. He starts chatting her up. Why are you crying? What's going on? She's hesitant at first. Like, you're a fucking you're a carjacker. What are you doing? She hesitantly tells him who she is. He deduces based on the vague way she tells him like where they're staying, the townhouse, that area that she's staying in, who she is. So he's asking her what's going on, and she tells him about the design school and her father and blah blah blah. And he is like, you should go, and you should, he's gently prodding her into telling her like you should pursue your dreams and blah blah blah. He's being supportive and he's whatever. And she's intrigued and she's like, who are you and whatever. So she's getting the vibe that he's not a bad guy. He's not gonna murder her or whatever. So he drops her off at the corner in front of a museum. She calls her parents to pick her up. The police question her. She doesn't give him up. He thinks that she will, but she doesn't. And later that night, he tracks her down and sneaks into her bedroom window. And they start this secret affair, secret meetup type thing. They start this secret meetup type thing where she says that she's going to see, she says she's going to this charity function and then she sneaks out, or she tells her parents that she's going to see her other diplomat friend, and she's actually, whatever. And she's meeting up with him, and they start this secret rendezvous. Similar to how I got Beauty and the Beast vibes from Stolen Air, I got Romeo and Juliet vibes from this book. And I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just me inferring, picking up on something that wasn't really there. But I got Montague and Capulet vibes, that they're star-crossed lovers that weren't meant to be together, but are. Does that make sense? I don't know. If you've read this book, did you get that at all? But so essentially, they continue this secret tryst type situation. They don't have sex until after they've been seeing each other for a while. Dante, there's this night of a fundraiser at like where there's like the children of the grown children, obviously, of diplomats, at like at the same museum where, I think it's the same museum where he had dropped her off the first night they met. There's a masked ball, and she's there, and she's dressed like beautifully, and he shows up, and he's also got on a mask, even though he's not invited. He crashes, and he interrupts the dance. He sees her dancing with a guy that her parents think that she should be with, like another, I think he's like the son of some like German diplomat or so, or like Swiss diplomat, I can't remember, but he's like the son of some other diplomat. And her parents want her to go in that direction, or are pushing her in that direction. And he sees them dancing, and he cuts in, and he sweeps her off her feet, and they're dancing. And then he like whisks her away into some like another wing of the museum, and he's like livid. He's like been reduced to his like baser instincts because of his like possessive, jealous need. He's seen her dancing with this guy, and he's just lost his mind. And he throws her down on this literal piece of art history. It's like a chaste lounge, like a literal piece of history. He throws her down, and he has sex with her. He takes her virginity on this couch, and she's like all into it, but at the same time she's like, ow, your brute strength is hurting me. And he's blinded by jealousy and rage and whatever, but at the same time, oh God, it's so hot. And then he takes care of her afterwards, obviously. And after that, she vows that she's going to tell her parents about him. So she goes back, and she tells her parents about Dante. Her dad is obviously very pissed off. He says, okay, invite him over for dinner. Dante comes to dinner. He basically, in a very underhand, not even really so underhanded way, but makes Dante feel like shit. Treats him like shit. Like he's a piece of gum stuck on the bottom of his shoe. And then after he leaves, he basically says, you're going to have nothing to do with this guy. At the same time, she has dinner with Dante's family. They treat her very well. They really like her. So it's like, okay, my family loves you. Your family hates me. Okay, got it. So over the course of the next however long, she starts exhibiting signs of not feeling well. Immediately, I was like, oh shit, I know exactly what's happening here. You know what's happening here. Okay. So she finds out that, spoiler alert, she finds out that she's pregnant. She tells Dante, I need to talk to you. I need to meet you somewhere. Can you meet me somewhere? And he's like, yes, I will meet you in our spot in the park tonight. And she says, okay. So she goes, and she's waiting for him there. In the meantime, Dante accompanies Nero, his brother, to a poker game where Nero basically gets into it with some Russian gangsters. Because Nero, this is all taking place before Nero's book. This is back when Nero was his wayward youth, before he met Camille and before he was settled down. He's playing poker with some Russian gangsters, and they don't like the outcome of the game, so they vow revenge. Dante, the night he's supposed to go meet Simone, he borrows Nero's car. The Russian gangsters have been staking out the house. They see Nero's car leave the house. They follow. They think it's Nero. It's not. It's Dante. They basically attack. Dante has to defend himself against the Russian gangsters. But in the meantime, he gets fucked up pretty badly. He knows he has to meet Simone. He doesn't want to leave her standing there waiting because he thinks that it's like a make or break moment in their relationship. So he takes care of the gangsters, but the car's out of commission. And now he's busted up and bloody. And he's running on foot to the spot in the park where he's supposed to meet her. She's waiting in the park, scared, pregnant, having come fresh off of an argument with her parents about how he's a no-good gangster who's a threat to her and her baby. He shows up. He's covered in blood. He's panting. He's half dead. She's terrified. She doesn't tell him she's pregnant. She just runs away. She goes back home and she disappears. Her parents basically sequester her for the duration of her pregnancy. They force her to give her son. Her pregnancy is a nightmare. She has a lot of medical complications. They force her to give the baby up to her sister because her sister has cystic fibrosis. She will never have a child of her own. And because she loves her sister so much, and she wants her sister to be happy and knows that her sister only has a very short time to live, and they can basically convince her that she has nothing to offer this child. She's completely dependent on them financially. She basically is bullied by her parents into giving up her son to her sister to raise. She does. She rebels against the schooling and the career paths that her parents wanted her to take, and she becomes a model because she's always been very beautiful. After she had her son, I guess like her body like filled out in all the right places and et cetera, et cetera. And she becomes a model, and she uses her body and her face to earn bukus of money so that she will never be dependent on anyone else to take care of herself or to take care of her son. She basically then lives with her sister and helps raise Henry, her son. And Henry calls them both mom, which was weird to think about at first. Her sister then, several years later, passes away, and she retains custody of Henry and raises him from then on out. So at first, I was fucking livid. Her father, her mother was a fucking doormat. I couldn't stand her. Her father, I wanted to get a cattle prod, light it to burning, and stick it into his eye sockets and just burn his eyeballs out. I hated him with a fiery passion. Like I've not felt hatred for someone so strongly in a book in so long. I could not fucking stand him. Like, what a piece of shit. The level of sorrow and empathy that I felt for Simone. Oh my God, I felt so bad for her and everything that she went through. And Dante, oh my God, okay. So now, fast forward 10 years later. 10 years? Roughly 10 years. 9 years. Dante's 30. Simone's 27. Henry is 9. Dante has now taken over the mantle of basically running the family business. His dad is still in the picture, but he's like basically retired. Simone is basically the world's most famous supermodel. Dante can't go anywhere without seeing her face. She's basically plaguing him. He can't forget her even if he wanted to. He has no idea about Henry. Like, she has kept him like the world's best secret. Because he knows, like, he's read that her sister had a son that she adopted upon her sister's death. He has no idea that was her son and subsequently his son. Okay. You have only to look at him to know that it's Dante's son. The boy looks just like him, according to the book. Like, allegedly, he looks just like him. So now, Simone's coming back to Chicago for the first time in 9 years because her father is coming back to Chicago for like a rally where he is going to be speaking along with Callum Griffin, who is now is he the mayor? Is he still alderman or is he the mayor? I can't remember. I think he's still the alderman. He's going to be speaking at a rally with the Simone's dad about the anti-trafficking of women, like that charitable cause or whatever. So Simone's dad has asked her, because since the time of her sister's death, they've kind of sort of mended fences. She still harbors resentment towards them, her parents, for making her give up Henry and everything. But at the time of her sister's death, the grief that they shared together kind of rebonded them a little bit. So it was a little bit like water under the bridge, but if that makes sense. So her dad has asked her to come to Chicago to accompany him to the rally and just like sit with him up on the podium and et cetera, et cetera. And bring Henry so that he can visit with them, the grandparents, and just spend time together. She's agreed. She has time off work, and she doesn't want to, but she's agreed. So she's there. She doesn't know that Dante is going to be there. But Riona, Callum's sister, has heard that there's the possibility of a threat against Simone's dad's life. He's been getting like death threats because of his work against the anti-trafficking ring and yada yada. So Simone is there. Riona has asked Dante to come work as head of security. Dante is there. He sees Simone for the first time in 9 years walk up to the podium or walk up to the stage. She doesn't see him. He sees her. Time stands still. He feels anger. He feels resentment. He also feels, obviously, love, affection, whatever. He's stunned. She doesn't see him. Callum gets up to speak. And then the father gets up to speak. And then Dante sees like a reflection of something behind the podium, like in the distance. And he like yells for everybody to get down. And right when that happens, there's like the sound of like a gunshot. He jumps up and he like shoves Simone down. And all hell breaks loose. And it turns out that there was a sniper shot from way across the way in the building, from like 100 yards away. That's the first time that she sees him and knows that he's there. So now she's stunned. And she's like, oh shit, Dante's here. So they do a little investigating. He tells her that he's gonna find out who was trying to take a shot at her dad, because they assume that someone's trying to assassinate him. So he says he's gonna do a little investigating. And because she wants to secretly spend time with him in like a morbid fascination kind of way, because she's a glutton for punishment, she asks if she can tag along. And because he's a glutton for punishment, he says yes. So they start trying to like find out who's trying to take a shot at her dad. They think at first that it's this journalist who has like pedophilic predilections. They sneak into his house where he's having like gross underage parties. It turns out not to be him. They later on find out that it is not the person who was trying to take the shot was not trying to hit her dad, but was trying to hit Callum. Then they have to find out why Callum was the target. And it turns out that the person who, when they finally find out who the shooter was, it turns out that it's the cousin of Callum's ex-bodyguard, Jack DuPont. If you remember, Jack was very present in Callum's book, the first book in the series, and he was killed was he killed in the second book? I think in the second book, Stolen Heir. He was killed by Mikolaj. Jack DuPont, he was the one that busted up Sebastian Gallo's knee and fucked up his basketball career. So Christian DuPont was his cousin and happened to also be a sniper who was in Iraq around the same time that Dante was. He was obsessed with breaking Dante's like sniper records with shooting, but he was also a little bit insane and sadistic when it came to who he shot and when he shot and where he shot. And, you know what I'm saying? Like his psychological profile was kind of off. So when he came back from Iraq and he realized that his favorite cousin, the only cousin he liked, is dead, he not only blames Mikolaj, who actually killed him, but he also blames Cal for getting him killed, and subsequently Dante for being involved or being connected to Cal. So he's now made it his mission to kill Cal and kill Dante for being in the way. So when they find out, Dante tracks the sniper out to this farm where they find like this Unabomber type cabin, and a bunch of like clippings of newspaper articles and things where it becomes very apparent who the sniper is. They end up accidentally tripping like a tripwire type bomb, and the cabin explodes, and they barely make it out with their lives. They get back to the city, and by this time, him and Simone have grown close again. And she decides that she has to tell him about Henry. She finally divulges that Henry is his son. He, as expected, flips out. They have a big fight. She runs away again, obviously. She gets back to the hotel. She goes inside. Her parents are supposed to be watching Henry. She goes inside to check on him, and he's not there. She starts freaking out. About this time, Dante gets in his car and drives off and realizes that Henry is in his backseat. Henry has snuck downstairs and has hidden in the backseat of his car. They have a little bonding moment because Henry, she has basically at this point told Henry who his dad is, and he wanted to meet him. So Henry has hidden in Dante's car so that he can meet his father. They have like a little bonding moment, and then Dante's phone rings, and it's Simone's number, and he's like, oh, your mom must realize that you're missing, and that, you know, realize that you've somehow made it to me. He picks up the phone, and it's not Simone. It's Christian DuPont. And he has essentially kidnapped Simone. And so basically what happened was, after Simone realized that Henry was missing, she runs out and she gets snatched by Christian DuPont. He drives her about over state lines into I want to say like, where the fuck is it? Wisconsin or some shit. Did I write it down? I don't know. Kidnapped. I can't remember. He drives her across state lines, and to like another weird cabin in the woods, And he calls Dante and he tells him, you have until morning, basically daylight. At daybreak, I'm going to release her into the woods and I'm going to tell her to run, and then I'm going to hunt her like an animal. And you will have to find her before I do. Because if I find her first, we're going to see who the better sniper is. Because if I find her before you find me, I'm going to shoot her. And she's going to be dead. And essentially it's like a race against time. So Dante takes Henry to his dad's, basically stealthily tells his father that, hey, this is your grandkid. Keep him occupied while I go take care of the situation. He calls his ex-army buddy, Raylan. Raylan was his spotter in the army, and was his like best friend. Raylan is a Southern cowboy type, a very heavy Southern accent, very devil may care, loosey-goosey cowboy. He's very cute. He's very like funny, very chipper, very very funny guy. He calls Raylan and he says, I need your help. Can you come meet me? Raylan used to be in the military. He's now part of a like a private contractor group. I think they're called like what are they called? The Black Knights? Black Knights? Something like that. Where did I write it down? Yeah, the Black Knights. It's like a private military contractor group that does like secret ops, like private, under the radar, sometimes illegal type stuff, for the military. And he has been overseas on like a secret mission type thing. And he's like, I'm dead tired and I've been in a very dusty, no electricity, hot as desert balls area for God knows how long. Yeah, I can do that. He doesn't care. So he flies back and is like, yeah, sure. And he hops a flight and he meets up with Dante. And he basically, him and Dante drive through the night and basically race against the clock to get to Simone. Simone is basically trussed up like a pig in this dude's car, driven to this wooded cabin where he makes her bathe in front of him and then stripped down to like a white nightgown so she's easily visible. And then he basically sets her out into the woods and makes her run barefoot through the woods like a hog and just run. And she does, and she's terrified and she's freaking the fuck out and she runs. And then she starts, she slowly morphs from terrified to playing it smart, and she strips the nightgown off and she covers herself in mud and she drops down into the grass and she like army crawls it, and she starts like using her brain to stealthily avoid this guy's like scope and his sight and whatever. And she does that until Dante and Raylan can pick him off, which they do. And Dante finds her, and all is well with the world, and he saves her, and Raylan helps him, and they go back. and they get Henry, and they decide to be a family, and she ends up in the epilogue getting pregnant with another baby, and they have another baby, and the end, and they all live happily ever after, and it was beautiful, and I was so fucking happy, and I was just like, oh. And I was just like, okay. So there were two quotes that I actually wrote down from the book that I really loved, that like jumped out at me as I was reading. Towards the beginning of the book, when Simone first meets Dante, and they first start meeting up, and she tells her sister about Dante, and her sister is like, you're young, you're a virgin, you've never had a boyfriend. You sure it's not just like a crush? And she says a crush is candlelight, and Dante is the sun. And I really like that quote. And then later on, Dante is talking to someone, and he says, Simone is a stained glass window, and I'm the gargoyle outside of the cathedral. And I really like that quote as well. So those are just two quotes that really jumped out to me that I like decided to write down, which I never do that. But yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of this book. 45 minutes later, an hour later. I don't know how long I've been talking. I had to break like 5 times. So for the rating for this book, I gave it a 10 out of 10, which again, I never do. I think the last book that I rated a 10 out of 10 was Miko's book, and before that I can't remember the last time I rated a book a 10 out of 10. So yeah, I fucking adored this book. I love Dante. Coming into the series, I expected that I would like Nero's book the best out of all of them, because Nero's aesthetic spoke to me. His vibe seemed more up my alley. It seemed more like, if you're familiar with Penelope Douglas's Devil's Night series, like Damon was my kryptonite, and I got that same Damon-esque vibe from Nero. So I expected Nero to be my favorite, and Miko was my favorite. Dante would be a close second, and I don't know why that is. Something about him, like his whole wounded bloody heart, like I can't think of a better title for this book than what Sophie came up with. Bloody heart. Like, he's just so wounded, and he pines for her so badly. It's so endearing and so poignant, and so, God, it just hurt me so bad, but so good. So yeah, so anyway, I rated it a 10. I would highly recommend this book to anybody. I would highly recommend this series to anyone. I am almost finished with Raylan's book, and oh my God, y'all, Raylan comes across as such a carefree, like loose, light cowboy, like just so loosey-goosey, like so devil may care, like I don't care about anything, I'm so funny, I'm so nothing serious here. And then there's one scene that takes place in a barn, and oh God, he gets down low and he whispers in her ear, "Shut the fuck up." And I almost passed out. I almost passed out, y'all. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got weak. I got weak in the knees. So anyway, we'll get to that next time on the next episode of What's Smut Book Reviews. So yes, I would recommend this book to anyone and this series to anyone, and I will continue to do so on Instagram for anyone who will listen. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy me and my channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. I do so every week, usually on Thursdays. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter account devoted to this channel. I will put them in the description box below, and I'll put a little banner here on the screen for you guys to see. And yeah, I think that's it. Have I forgotten anything? I don't think so. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me for another video, and I will see you guys in my next one. I love you guys so much. Bye. What a hot GD mess. Okay. What a hot GD mess. Okay. Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. Okay. Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Okay. I'm a secret BTS fan. I know y'all didn't know that. I know y'all didn't know that, but my music taste is as eclectic as my book taste. I'm a basic bitch, y'all. I am a basic bitch. Don't stop believing. Y'all like my shirt? Clashes with my hair, but whatever. Okay. I really wanted to wait until I had the physical book for this one, but it hasn't come yet. So, and I know if I wait any longer, I'm pretty sure I've already lost half the plot, but do I want to lose the other half of the plot? No. So I gotta do it. I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, so let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get into it. Okay. Angle is probably off again because I ran out of storage. Story of my life. Okay. Where the fuck was I at? Okay. So they happened early on in the book. When Simone was telling her sister about Dante, and her sister was saying, like, are you sure it's not just like a crush? You're young, you're a virgin, you've never had a boyfriend. Okay. And I'm done, 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 and I'm done. Because I'm in this house tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shining through the city with the little button. Look, I wrote, in all caps, riding crop. Seriously. Shut the fuck up. When I read that, I got the tingles like y'all would not fucking believe. So satisfying. So satisfying. So satisfying. So satisfying. In the trash. Done. Don't choke. Tea. Tea. Okay. Cause I'm done tonight. So watch me turn off my remote tonight. thank you for watching. I really appreciate you sticking with me for another video. I have had to cut off my video and go transfer my files like 8 times during this video because I ran out of storage. I have to get another recording situation because I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this shit, seriously. Like, my patience is running super thin with this fucking running out of storage bullshit. Okay. 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 Thanks. All right. BDSM, long shot. Yeah, you're into some shit. Riona. Raylan's a bad boy, y'all. He a bad boy, y'all. I like a bad boy. Bad boy. Okay. I'll see you guys later. How many you think?